Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an interesting and a busy week for Call of Duty. Essentially, there was one big news story and one small news story, and generally what I like to do with these type of videos is call them the Call of Duty Weekly Reload and go over all of the news that happened in Call of Duty that week. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different because we're going to very quickly go over one piece of news, which is the fact that Season 2 has officially got delayed for Vanguard and Warzone. It got pushed off to February 14th, so for those of you who don't have a Valentine's Day date, now you have something else to do with your hands. We're just going to move on past that one. Aside from that, as you guys know, Microsoft earlier this week purchased Activision and Blizzard in a massive deal. And over the past couple of days, I have done a ton of reading, looking into articles, a bunch of different stuff, and it turns out that there's a lot more to this deal that isn't as publicly stated as other things. So what I wanted to do is dive into all these background secrets and discuss what is actually going to happen to Call of Duty because of this deal. And some of it is straightforward, some of it is very confusing, but I wanted to put it out there so that you guys know exactly what's going on in the background behind this deal. And if you ask me, it's pretty damn interesting. So essentially what I'm saying is sit back, relax, and enjoy, and we're going to dive into that after we hear from today's video sponsor. So I just have to say it, I think today's sponsor is one of the coolest we've had on the channel. Today, Techland is sponsoring the channel for, of course, Dying Light 2. Now, I'm a huge fan of Dying Light. When the first one came out back in the day, it was one of my favorite games. In fact, I even did a Let's Play of it on my second channel, which some of you may have seen. But today, they are sponsoring the channel because just around the corner on February 4th, Dying Light 2 is coming out. Now, recently, Dying Light 2 released their final episode of Dying to Know. Now, essentially what this is a 30-minute show Techland released discussing various elements of their game. It includes dev interviews, fan contests, and on top of that, new gameplay and trailers. Speaking of which, on February 4th, the game officially launches. And if you didn't play Dying Light 1, here are some things you need to know. First of all, there is a giant, vast open world where you can participate in the life of a city engulfed in a new dark era and discover different paths and hidden passages as you explore the multiple levels and locations. And one of my favorite things about this series is not only do they have great combat, but they also implement parkour, which you can use to navigate the city. And on top of that, tip the scales in your favor in these most brutal encounters. Now, another cool thing about this game, and probably my favorite thing about this game, is the day and night cycle. During the day, you're a little bit more safe, but at night you can venture into dark hideouts of the infected, where the sunlight may keep them at bay. Once it's gone, monsters begin their hunt, which you can go and invade their lairs, or you can get taken down by the monsters. And another great thing about Dying Light 2 is you can play 2 to 4 player co-op, so if you want to hop in a game with your friends, this is a great opportunity. So I will definitely be getting my hands on this game. I'm looking forward to playing it. So if you want to check it out, it'll be linked down in the description. You can pre-order it now. Like I said, link down below. So get your hands on Dying Light 2, and thank you Techland for sponsoring the channel. So for those of you with your heads under a rock and don't know what the heck happened, essentially earlier this week, Microsoft purchased Activision Blizzard for $69 billion. All of it, all of the games, everything. This is a massive deal, but it's even more surprising because what happened months before. Months before, Phil Spencer said about Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Activision's allegations, that he needs to see a big community shift at that company if Xbox is going to continue working with them. Now, knowing what we know now, this actually makes a lot more sense because if they were at the time considering buying Activision, they obviously wanted to see some changes in order for that actually to go through. Now that they own them, they can confirm that this is going to happen and moving forward make some big changes. We will get into that in a second. Now, some of you may be wondering why this happened. So first of all, the talks for this started around November. During November, this is when we heard Phil Spencer say these things about Bobby Kotick, and then moving forward is the deal was pushed forward, lawyers got their hands on it, and through December, they worked on this deal, and now it finally happened. Now, one of the more common things I've heard over the past couple of days is that Microsoft is purchasing Activision Blizzard to make it so that all of their games are exclusive on Xbox and on PC. Based off of what we're seeing, that's actually not the case. There was some SEC filings that came out saying that Activision will honor all existing deals, even post closing the deal with Microsoft, which happens in June of 2023. That means that if they have any deals with PlayStation or other companies, they will still follow those deals. And based off of what Phil Spencer is saying, he does not plan on taking any of these games off of PlayStation. But the big question then is why make this deal for nearly $70 billion if you're not going to make those games exclusive? And I think the answer is actually a lot more obvious than a lot of people are thinking. What you have to remember with Activision and Blizzard, they have decades of game libraries. They have games like Call of Duty that came out every single year for the past 15 plus years. They have games like World of Warcraft. They have games like StarCraft, Diablo, Hearthstone, Overwatch, all of these massive IPs that make tons of money, not to mention their mobile games like Candy Crush that now Microsoft actually owns. And one of the big things that Microsoft has been pushing over the last little while is Game Pass. Essentially what this is a subscription service that you can pay monthly and then therefore get all of the games underneath the Game Pass umbrella and play them whenever you want them. Now let's take Call of Duty alone for this. Call of Duty has a huge library of games in and of itself. Imagine that you could boot up your Xbox or even PC, go on Game Pass, and play any of the Call of Duty games that have ever came out. All of them. The campaign, the multiplayer, zombies, all of it, just for paying a monthly fee. All of a sudden, a lot of Call of Duty players are going to hop on board and say, this is essentially just a Call of Duty subscription service. I don't have to own the game. I can just hop on and play any of them whenever I want. Not only is this a good thing for Call of Duty, it means that older games like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, and those most popular Call of Duty games are going to get a massive player base spike because it's easy for players just to hop online and play those games. Personally, for me, if this happens, I would be playing Modern Warfare 2 a lot because all of a sudden people would be playing it because it's easy to play, backwards compatible, and on Game Pass for a subscription fee. Now, for those of you wondering about Game Pass and how that works, essentially there's different versions. It's either $12 a month or $17 a month, depending on what version of it you actually get. One you can get just on console, one you can get just on PC, and then the Ultimate, which is $17, you can get on both. Now, with this, you have to remember that the numbers that they are giving us is that there are 3 billion gamers in the world. Let's say, for example, they get a third of those on Game Pass, 1 billion people on Game Pass. At $10 a month, they are making $10 billion a month, which makes up the money that they just spent on Activision in less than a year. Now, those numbers are very high and they're never going to get that, but the point is, with a subscription-based model with a ton of games on it, including all of the Call of Duty titles, they're going to make up this money fast without even adding exclusive content to the Call of Duty games. Not to mention, because they own Activision, they're going to get a portion of sales off of Call of Duty games and any other games that Blizzard launches here on out. Diablo 4 comes to mind as a game that's coming out very, very soon. I think that's coming out before the acquisition, but you get the point. They get the game sales, they can throw them on Game Pass, more people buy Game Pass, they subscribe to them, they make more money off of it that way. It's very similar to what we see with Netflix, and let's just say Netflix is doing pretty damn well for themselves. So at this point, you can kind of see why Microsoft wanted to buy Activision and Blizzard for a couple reasons in there. But the other question is, why did Activision and Blizzard actually want to sell the company? And this is where things, in my opinion, get a little bit more interesting. The day that the sale happened, there was a CNBC interview with Phil Spencer and Bobby Kotick. There was a lot of questions thrown around. One of the main things that they kind of pointed towards is that they wanted to use both companies' assets to push forward the metaverse. I don't know what the metaverse is. I don't understand it, but apparently it's coming, and apparently they're going to be working on it together. That is really all I know about that. But basically, from what I've read, that is just them giving a reason to the media. If you actually take a look at some of the numbers, this begins to make a lot more sense. Think of it this way. Bobby Kotick has all of these allegations against him, and because of that and the legal proceedings behind that, the stock price of Activision Blizzard has plummeted. Not been doing very well at all. Now, because of this, Bobby Kotick owns a lot of the Activision Blizzard stock. A lot of it. For him to make money, that stock needs to go up. When Microsoft purchased Activision and Blizzard, their stock skyrocketed. Off of Bobby Kotick's stocks alone, he's going to make about $400 million. On top of this, there's been a lot of rumors as to what happens to Bobby Kotick after the sale, so June of 2023. And based off of all of the newer reports that we've seen after the purchase, it seems as though he is on his way out after this. Now, when he gets fired, he also gets $250 million. Combine the two, that is $650 million for getting fired. So, you may ask yourself, why did he do this? Why did he sell the company? It's a simple answer. Money. Now, we've talked about the implications of Call of Duty on Game Pass. We've talked about what's going to go on with Call of Duty in the future. It appears as though it's still going to be on all consoles and everything like that. But there's also the other side of things that I haven't talked about, which is the other games. Activision and Blizzard have a ton of new and old games. You take all of those, put them on Game Pass, including all of the old ones, the Crash Bandicoots, all of that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden, all of that's on Game Pass. It's even more of an incentive for players to hop on Game Pass, that subscription model, and there is a lot of money in that kind of thing. And it seems like with this purchase, Xbox and Microsoft are going to keep pushing that forward, and with Call of Duty on that as well, big things are going to happen. Not to mention, they also have Bethesda in their pocket, which has big games coming out in the next little while as well. So that is essentially all of the reasons for the selling and buying of Activision Blizzard and purchasing by Microsoft and Xbox. It's going to be interesting. We've got a lot of time until this actually takes place. June of 2023 is going to be very interesting. I'm just hoping they put Modern Warfare 2 on Game Pass and a bunch of people are playing it again. We can get on there, get nukes. There'll be people one-man army noob tubing all over again. It should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. But that's essentially all the stuff that I have found over the past couple days. It's pretty interesting to me. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I tried to make it as simplistic as possible, keep all of the numbers out of it, and just give you guys the facts. And to me, all of this makes a lot of sense. So let me know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, always appreciate it if you hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. But as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making